Alright, so today I made one phone call. You might be wondering why just one. Well, because I was doing other things. Okay, so I called Hanger Clinic because they called me, right? And my prescription went through, so now I have a solid prescription. The reason I went for a second prescription is because my first prescription was when I was in my 20s, and I am now 26. That was about 6 years ago. And and I have a new doctor anyway, so I was gonna need a new prescription. And when I was 20, actually 21, they need a Pacific waiver from my insurance. And nobody was helpful in getting me that Pacific waiver when I was 21. But now, because I talked to the person I was on the phone with this morning, she told me the Pacific waiver I need. So that is the first thing I am doing tomorrow morning at like 9 o'clock. Why? Because nothing's open until 9. And so, at least where I live. And so, we're gonna make that happen because now I know what waiver I need and I have a prescription. And then once I have the waiver and both of those things are settled, because this is something that I will need for the rest of my life. So I am gonna need the waiver. And she said once I get it done, I don't need to get it done. Like, once it's in my file, it's in my file for like ever. And at least with their clinic. And so I'm like, okay, cool, because technically I should have been wearing them this whole entire time. But I had issues when I was 13, okay? They kept melting and stuff, and I kept getting injuries because they kept melting and getting all stabby and interesting. Anyways, it doesn't get that hot over here. To the fact that it's gonna melt, you know? So, I am not worried about that factor anymore because it never really gets that hot, and if it ever does, then I just won't wear them that day. But I need them because I am a toe walker. My feet get injured a lot. My ankles are sensitive. My feet are sensitive. My Achilles heel is very, very sensitive. So these braces, these orthotics, are supposed to help with that. Not only by adding weight, which will allow me to use my entire foot instead of just the tip of my foot, which is just my toes basically. And it will allow me to use the entirety of my foot without injuring myself. And it will also prevent injury. Now, will it prevent it all the time? No. But is it more likely to prevent injury? Yes. So, first things first is I'm going to get that waiver. Now that I know what type of waiver I need and what exactly I'm asking for. Because, yeah, sometimes you just need more information. And after I get that waiver, then I'm able to call them back, and they are able to make the molds of my feet and my leg, basically. My leg to my feet. It basically goes all the way up to my calf and back down. So, just below my knee. So, they're gonna be pretty noticeable. Of course, if I wear jeans, they're gonna have to be on the outside, and so on and so forth. So, no matter what I'm wearing, they're gonna be very, very visible, and so that's why I'm gonna pick a design that I really, really enjoy, because that is gonna become something that is part of me. And also, while I get that waiver done tomorrow, I'm also gonna try and find a equipment place, because my last one no longer exists. So, gotta help me find one. Because I guess they changed names or something. Something occurred. Something happened. But that no longer exists. So now I have to go back, go to insurance, and be like, hey, so actually I need this too, and it's been so many years, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm just hoping that this time I don't have to jump through red tape all that much. You know? And apparently I bit myself without thinking. And right on my is that where my birthmark is? Pretty sure that's my birthmark. I bit my own birthmark. No wonder it's so prominent right now. Anyways, yeah. So that's what I have to do tomorrow. Why am I gonna do it tomorrow? Because Monday sucks to get in contact with insurance. Tuesday is the same thing. Wednesday, you get hung up on a lot of the time. Thursday, you're more likely to get somebody that's very, very happy because it's almost the end of the week. Friday, yeah, I wouldn't even try. Yeah, no. But Tuesday and Thursday are the days to talk to insurance, or at least I have found that those are the best days to talk to anything extremely important, like medical, government, anything like that. Those are the 2 days that I find are best to do that. Any other day that I actually have to do that, I just find it super frustrating, because then the person is frustrated on the phone and they're like trying to do their job, but you could tell that they're irritated and they just want their job to be over. Okay, that's why I don't contact on Monday, Friday, or Wednesday, because that's just insanity. And I have this thing about adding stress to my life at this point, because I was diagnosed with high blood pressure at 21, which is rare. It is rare to get diagnosed at the age that I was diagnosed. And my biggest trigger, other than salt, which I don't really have that much, but whatever, is stress. My biggest trigger. is stress related. So I really try not to stress myself out anymore. Like, I agree, I disagree, I say yes, I say no, whatever it may be, but I am not gonna stress myself out over a decision that I have no choice but to make. You know? So, the AFOs have to happen because if it doesn't, then I'm just more likely to break my foot. And how do I know that? Because the last time I went to the ER that was foot related, I sprained my entire foot. Do you know how rare it is to sprain your foot? Very. It doesn't happen often. No. But basically, my feet are very small, very sensitive, very just fragile overall. So, the braces will help me in the long run. So, let's just hope that I can get this done, because now I know the waiver that I need, and hopefully it won't take me too much time tomorrow. But I also don't know how these conversations go. So, we will see. Bye, guys.